Today we have some fun stuff happening in the vlog, but first Johnny and I are gonna run some errands, and I can't show you what I'm wearing right now, but we're gonna take some pictures right now because Love and Faith is working on something very exciting. So we're gonna do a little mini photo shoot right now, and then as you can see by the title, we're doing a really fun and requested cooking with Jack Jack, and I'm so excited, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's run some errands. I don't know if you could see this, but I got a nice little fat blister on my finger because I burned myself with sugar trying to make caramel. We just went to this park so we could take pictures with the sky in the background because it's so pretty. Okay, without me showing too close up the designs, there's some of the pictures we just took. After driving in circles around town, we finally decided what to eat.
So today we're gonna eat Vietnamese sandwiches.
Yum!
So one of my favorites there is the barbecue pork bomb.
I used to always get tofu, but I also eat chicken now, so don't really know what I'm gonna get. So let's go find out. We got our sandwiches. We're gonna go home and eat. We'll show you what we got, but I also had to stop by and get my favorite boba. This is the Jolly Green Apple Slush with green apple jelly bits and strawberry boba. Here's the sandwich. I got tofu and a chicken. Yum! But you do have to be careful because there is like raw, fresh jalapeno in these sandwiches, and they are freaking so hot. Look at this. They're so stinking hot, so I always have to take those out. What'd you get?
I got the famous barbecue pork.
Barbecue pork, yep. I used to get that one in high school. The bread is like fresh and delicious. The veggies are fresh and yummy. And I don't know what sauce they use, but it's delicious. And then the tofu is the same, but just different protein. I think if I had to pick, I think I might go chicken. Now it is time for
Cooking with Jack Jack.
Today we're making blueberry bagels. This is gonna be the second time that I make blueberry bagels. The first time around, they were just so good, and I had one every day for breakfast, and it was amazing. So I wanna make some more, so I'm set for the week. So let's begin. This is gonna be quite a long process, but stick with me. First, we're gonna start with our starter, and we're gonna feed it. So I fed this, I can't even remember, sometime yesterday. I'm going to discard some. You could technically use that, save it, cook with it, whatever, but I'm just gonna toss it in the trash. I'm gonna discard some, feed it with flour, and then we're gonna allow her to get to her peak. So that's gonna take anywhere from like 4-6 hours. We're gonna give her some time. And once she gets to her peak, that's when we're actually going to begin mixing all the ingredients together and beginning our dough. But first we gotta take care of her. So let's go ahead and discard a good half of this. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a spoon, dump that right in the trash can. Again, you can save this, cook with it if you want, but I am just choosing not to. Okay, I think that's good. Now we're gonna take our flour. I like all-purpose flour best. I've tried whole wheat flour. I still have some in the pantry, and I just don't like it as much. I like all-purpose. I am trying the King Arthur's brand because I hear such good things about it, but all-purpose flour, that's my favorite. I always keep a spoon in here, and I don't do measurements when it comes to getting my starter ready. I just don't. We're looking for a thick pancake consistency, and that's really it. I'm gonna do a couple spoonfuls of flour in there. Now let's add some water. I'm adding hot water to mine. I always have. I don't know why, I feel like she likes hot water. And I'm just going to mix that. Again, you want it to be a thick pancake consistency. I actually find it easier to mix with like a butter knife or a chopstick. So I'm gonna do that. Make sure everything is nice and incorporated. Might add a drop more water. Actually, no, I think she'll be okay. I just think it's so much easier to go off the visuals and go off what you see. I'm not here for all the measurement stuff. Never have been, never will be. It's just never been my style in the kitchen. But for this recipe, I'm gonna try and be as exact as possible, so that way you guys can do the same thing. Okay, that looks pretty good. Look at the consistency. You can kind of see she's very thick. So we're gonna leave her be like that. So it's hard to tell because this jar is just so dirty, but I have a rubber band here. This is her starting point, so that's where she's at. Her peak will hopefully be more than doubled, so this would be doubled. We'll probably grab her and work with her once she's like at the top of this cup. So I'm just gonna use a coffee filter, another rubber band, and we're just gonna let her sit in a nice warm place. This is where I like to keep mine. See you in a few hours. Okay, we are back. It's been, I think like 5 or 6 hours, something like that, and she has more than doubled. So again, this was our starting point, and you can kind of see she's way up here. So that's more than doubled. So we're ready to use her. So the reason you want to wait till she doubles is because if she's rising, then it's also going to make your bread rise as well. If your starter's here at the bottom and it's flat, your bread or whatever you're baking is also gonna be flat. I guess I should also put a disclaimer. I am no expert, and you guys should know this. I literally just started my sourdough journey, but I'm just sharing what I've learned so far because I've already had a handful of wins and losses. I've already had a few fails already, so I'm just sharing what I'm learning from my experience. So, okay, now let's prep our dough. Okay, so now that you're ready to use your starter, we're gonna make our dough, and you wanna take half a cup of your starter. I'm just gonna set that there. Okay, that's about half a cup, right? So now let's scoop that all out into our bowl. And actually what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna set it off to the side right now, but I'm actually gonna feed her again, so that way I can just continue baking other things with her. So we have our starter in there, and now we're going to take 1 cup of hot water. I just use hot water for everything. I don't really have a rhyme or reason for that. I just like using hot water. It's not like boiling water or anything, but my water dispenser here does hot water, and I think it's just perfect. Once I get that all the way to the top, carefully bring this over and dump it with your starter. Now before you add your flour in here or anything else, you want to go ahead and mix this together and get your starter nice and dissolved with the water. We're gonna mix this. Should be a nice little milky water here. So that looks pretty good, so we'll leave it like that. Ooh, look how bubbly she is. Okay, so now that we have that nice milky texture, it's nice and smooth, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of honey or maple syrup, whatever you have, but I'm gonna use honey. Ugh, weak hand problems. I literally cannot squeeze this honey because my hand is so weak. Beautiful, and that was 2. So I'm just gonna give this a nice little mixy mix. Now we're gonna add salt to our mixture. So you wanna do 2 teaspoons. Oh shoot, that was a little bit much, my bad. 2 teaspoons of salt. And then let's do another little mixy mix. Now you want to bring your flour back. We are going to add a total of 4 cups of flour, but we're going to do it in increments. So let's start with 1 cup at a time. If you have a hand mixer or a stand mixer, this would be a great time to pull that out right now. So let's start with 1 cup of flour and mix that. Beautiful. Let's add 1 more cup and mix. You're definitely gonna get a good arm workout, so I hope you're ready. Here's what our dough is looking like after 2 cups of flour. So I'm gonna add a 3rd cup of flour, and I'll probably move into using my hands now. So here's where our dough is right now. It's still very lumpy dumpy, and we still have another cup of flour to add in here, but we're gonna take a pause right now. So I'm making blueberry bagels, so this is gonna be a great time to go ahead and wash our blueberries. I'm gonna go ahead and dump these out, wash them, and then we'll add them to our mixture. I'm using the rest of this container, which is about a cup of blueberries. I would love to put more, but that's all I had. Adding the blueberries in is super fun because while you're kneading the dough, they like pop, and it's just, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So I'm gonna start with this. It's probably gonna get really sticky here, and then I will go ahead and add our final cup of flour to our dough mixture. So let's just go ahead and start kneading this a little bit and just squeezing those blueberries and incorporating them in there. I like when the blueberries are like kind of squished, because like the juices go all over the dough and it's just super flavorful and delicious. You can even like fold them in. Like you can see right there, see them like popping. And because of the juice of the blueberries, it's making our dough a little bit wet again. So once it gets like to that sticky point where it's like sticking to your hand, you can go ahead and add in that last cup of flour. Here's what our mixture is looking like. It's very slippery. Now we're gonna add our last cup of flour, and you're basically gonna mix and knead this until your arms fall off. That's where the hand mixer or stand mixer would really, really come in handy right now. I'll see you here when she is looking better. And if you find your dough being really, really sticky still because your blueberries are just so juicy, it is totally okay. Add another cup of flour. I'm gonna start with half a cup at a time, and then we'll knead this some more, and then add the other half if you find that you need it, if your dough is still really sticky. Here is our dough after a lot of kneading. I didn't even use the full like cup, only about half. So that's what she's looking like. We're gonna cover her with plastic wrap and let her ferment for 8 to 12 hours, basically overnight. So you can basically leave her alone now. I'm gonna take our dough and put it in a clean bowl, and we'll cover with plastic wrap, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow to finish this recipe. Woo! And I am gonna put her in the oven with the light on just to keep her nice and warm because it is really cold in the house. So that's where I'm gonna put her. So there we go. We have our dough resting and fermenting, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It is the next day. It has been about 12 hours, so let's go ahead and check on our dough. There she is. She is fermented. She has doubled. We are ready to move on to the next step. Okay, I have my cutting board here. I am going to just sprinkle a little bit of flour on the board. And now we're gonna take our dough. We are gonna take her out. Make sure you get everything. Don't want any of the dough to go to waste. And now what you wanna do is divide this into 8 equal pieces. So I'm gonna first kind of soften her up a little bit on the sides. Okay, and I'm just gonna roll her. So now she's all like dense and compact like this. I'm gonna take a knife and divide her right in the middle. Just like that. Now we'll divide that again and then create little triangles like a little pizza. So just keep halving your dough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, perfect. Okay, now this is the fun part. We get to shape them. So you want to take one of your doughs, roll it into a ball. So that's step 1. And then you want to add tension. So okay, see how you can see like seams here? Roll it into a ball, and then you want to just use your hand to cup the dough and like build tension around it, and it'll also get rid of that seam. You can still kind of see it, so we'll just keep doing that. And then once you have this nice little ball of dough, you want to kind of flatten it a bit, not too much, but flatten it a bit. And then I'm using my middle finger and my thumb to just pull a hole into the middle and then just stretch it out. And you want to stretch it a bit here because when we cook it, it will close up a bit. We have our beautiful little bagel, and I'm going to flour up my pan behind me. I'm gonna take a little flour and add this to my pan just so it can rest here and it doesn't stick and it's easy to lift up. And once you have your beautiful little bagel shape, we'll just leave it right here to rest. And we're gonna do that for the rest of these bagels. So here we have our 8 bagels. We are going to let them rest here for about 4 hours or so. So I just covered them with the plastic wrap again, and we'll check in on them later in the day. It's been about 4 or 5 hours. Let's see what they'll look like. I'm so excited. They're puffy, they look amazing. I think we are ready to boil and bake these babies. Now we're going to preheat the oven for 25. It's very hot, but we'll preheat the oven. We're also going to boil our water here and add sugar and baking soda in a second. Boil, boil, boil. So once your water is boiling, you want to take 1 tablespoon of sugar and baking soda and add it in here. Do a little mixy mix. Now let me get our station all ready and prepared. So as soon as they are finished, I'm gonna move them over here to my cutting board. So you wanna take your bagels, you wanna plop them in your water, and you're gonna boil them for 1 minute on each side. So after a minute, we'll flip it. So let her do her thing, and then we'll flip her in a minute. You're gonna take your little spoon and just do a little flip, flipperoo, just like that. Now another minute on this side, and then we'll transfer them to rest here on our cutting board. Beautiful, amazing, ooh la la. The reason I put them on the cutting board is so I can just quickly wash my baking tray, but now I'm going to throw them back all on here, and then we'll bake them. Guess it's just easier if I use my hands. But we'll lay our bagels right here and then bake them for about 20-25 minutes. If you're doing anything other than like a blueberry bagel, you want to do like everything seasoning or sesame seeds or like cinnamon sugar, anything like that, this would be the time to add your toppings. And now we are going to go ahead and throw her in the oven. We'll set a timer for 20 minutes and check on her, and if she needs a little longer, we'll go 25. Start with 20 and we'll see how she does. She's done. At least that's 20 minutes. Ooh, she looks good. She looks good. Let's pull them out to take a closer look. Honestly, they look good. Look at these golden ones. Here they are, beautifully golden. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. We're gonna let them cool for a bit, and then we'll take them off, and then we'll try one. Oh my gosh, you guys, I missed one very crucial step, and you could probably tell what it is here. Put parchment paper down first. I can't believe I completely forgot that, but we're still saving them. We're getting them. It's a lot more work if you don't like at least grease this or put parchment paper. Just don't put your bagel just straight on the pan. Rookie mistake. She looks amazing. Toast her and give her a little taste test. We got our bagels. Johnny went classic old-fashioned Amish butter route. I went cream cheese. And now we're gonna do a little taste test. Should we do cheers? Cheers. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the middle.
I like it.
The actual bagel itself is not too sweet, so feel free to go ham on whatever toppings you want to add on here.
So bomb. So good.
So that is it for this vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you try out this recipe. And if you do, make sure you tag me in your photos so I can see. And we'll see you guys in the next vlog. We love you. Bye.
Baby, and now